wanted to introduce you to Manuela Paul. There she is. She's a registered nurse, and she's a very seasoned provider. How many years have you been doing this for now?
21 years.
Wonderful. So lots of experience, and she's had a number of people with Parkinson's disease move into her home at various stages, some in the earlier stages, some kind of in the middle, somewhere, and they've stayed through the end of life in her home quite a few times. So she has a lot of knowledge firsthand of Parkinson's disease and has journeyed with people through a lot of things, a lot of ups and downs. So what makes your home especially beneficial for someone with Parkinson's disease?
So our home, there are actually several things that make our home unique for Parkinson's disease. Of course, number one is the size. Due to the size of our community, because we only have 15 residents, it's a smaller setting. Our staff to resident ratio is quite, I would say, small, 1 to 4. And so just based on that alone, when people progress and they need our level of care, we can customize all of their care needs, anywhere from nutrition to exercise to safety needs. So there's definitely a lot of unique features that make us different.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Now let's go through those each, just that you touched on individually. So first you were mentioning is, well, nutrition. Let's just talk about nutrition for a minute. How much can the doctor has certain orders to follow sometimes, and or the family has certain wishes for their loved one. They want you to make a smoothie every day for them, for example, or you have to make food, pureed, or what are your capabilities with nutrition and your just nutrition approach?
Yeah, so actually our capabilities are quite large due to the fact that we have 24-hour awake staff. Our kitchen is open 24 hours as well. And so we are actually able to create, we're able to provide the meals and nutrition that they would like. We customize meals. So if there's likes and dislikes, we definitely follow those orders. We definitely follow the doctor's orders on dietary needs. If people need blended food, that's definitely something that we accommodate.
Do you make it taste good? Yeah, can you actually make it taste
You know
good?
what? Believe it or not, we make it taste good and we make it look good. And so it is so important for nutrition and high fiber and fluids in people with Parkinson's disease. So our kitchen is open, so we don't have just certain hours, and if you don't order before or after, you're not going to get it. The kitchen staff is able to put that together, kind of like 24-hour room service.
Wonderful.
At a resort or hotel.
Yeah. And so if a family comes in, so if a family says, I have a recipe that my mom loves, you can do their recipes, you'll try family recipes.
Yes, absolutely. Right? So if it's within our needs, or if it's something special that we might not be able to get, they can bring it in. Or if they bring us something, we can serve it to them in the texture that their loved one needs to have it in. So if they're bringing in something whole and they need create, then we can serve it to them that way. And so
yeah, and then another question is with feeding with Parkinson's, of course, as
I was going to touch on that.
Yeah,
absolutely. And again, this falls into the staffing ratio, and that's one of the biggest benefits, is that the staff is able to sit with the resident at the dining room table in their room and feed them wherever they're having their meal at that moment.
Wonderful. Wonderful. What about safety? You were talking about safety as well, and what things make your environment especially safe, or what systems do you have in place for safety?
Yes, and again, based on the community and the way our home is set up, we're able to utilize and use safety measures like sensors alarms. And when I say alarms, they're not alarming to the resident because they don't make any noise, any local noise. They just send the caregivers at their station. Either it's a beeper they wear, or at the station where they can hear it, is they send them a signal that that specific person is trying to get up, or is getting in the process of getting up. So it depends where we place our sensors, and with that we are have been preventing like 95% of the falls.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a really neat feature that we're able to use. And
Wonderful. You can respond so fast when you hear something because you have that ratio. So at nighttime, you have a caregiver that's always awake at night,
yes,
or do you have? Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely,
Great.
absolutely. 24 hours we will
Right, they're awake.
awake staff and
Good.
working, and are able to answer those emergency bells. And of course, they do checks, and everything is customized with a care plan. And so the staff is aware of everyone's specific care needs,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
day and night.
Now with Parkinson's, it's with my grandma had Parkinson's, and we would always say, use it or lose it, move it or lose it.
Yes, keep moving.
Movement is so important. And what do you do to keep your residents moving?
So we generally, as a household, with any resident, any disease, anyone that lives here, we have exercise daily, and we have it 2 times a day because some people are not morning people, some people are not afternoon people. So we have exercises, and then we also have specialized and customized exercises to each individual. And so if they don't join our big activity, our larger group, then we do customize. During the summer days, we utilize the outside and walk outside, where we to keep that walking. And during the winter, we utilize our indoors. We have large hallways. The home is quite large, so we're able to go take a few laps around, and it's actually quite a long distance. And so we do that, and we have exercise all the way through, where residents will progress to sitting and can't do any stand-up exercises, and they'll be sitting exercises. So we will do active and passive exercises as well. Yeah.
Wonderful,
So
wonderful.
keep
Yeah.
keep them moving. So
And what about just in general fun, unique fun things that you guys do to keep the mind active as well as the body? Any kind of fun? I mean, you have 15 residents, which a lot of smaller places have only up to 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you have a little bit more fun stuff going on.
We do. And so we have our daily activities calendar, which ranges from different type of activities. I will give you a sample of the type of things that we do. They change throughout the week, so it's not the same thing every day. But we do arts and crafts for the fine motor skills. Then we do riddles and puzzles for our mind. And of course, they are appropriate where we don't want to stress anybody out, on wow, it might be too intense. So they are very appropriate to kind of like common knowledge, so everybody can get it and pitch in. We do places of the world, conversations, a lot of reminiscing. We have a lot of picture books where we just talk about places. We get to know people's backgrounds. So if someone was born in a different part of the country, they might open up and kind of tell us about there. And pretty much guaranteed we have a book that has to do with it. We talk about beautiful places in the world. So conversations, games, bingo, exercise. We have someone coming in and doing live music.
Wonderful.
And
Has
so,
that had to stop a little bit with COVID, the music part?
so I was going to
Yeah.
make a comment in a normal kind of
Right.
basis. So we're out of the normal right
I
now.
know.
So our music person hasn't been able to come in, but we currently have residents that still play the piano, and so we're enjoying them when they're at the piano. We can hear it through the
Nice.
phone.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's so wonderful. I love when residents have an instrument and continue to play it. Just so
Exactly.
important to
Yes,
keep
it's
that
so
going.
beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, wow. Now let's talk a little bit about the timing. This is the big question for everybody. When do you make a move to an assisted living or adult family home? And I know you have lots of examples to draw from, but maybe just some generalizations. When is a good time to start thinking about moving from your home or from a larger facility to a smaller place like yours?
Sure, yeah. Um, so I would say there, I mean, there's a couple of key things that can help a family decide on, hey, when do I make that move? And of course, number one is safety. When you start seeing that there are safety issues, mobility is number one. They can have that unsteady gait or can cause them a fall. You should start thinking about a place where that can be they can help with that, because you don't want, and you don't want an event, you don't want an injury to be what causes that move. Unfortunately, there are times when that does happen, when they move in because their loved one did fall, they broke a hip, they're in the hospital, rehab, and then their current situation, either they're home with their spouse, they can't care for them, or they're in a bigger place that they don't have enough staffing to care for their needs that they need to help them with their everyday activities that they living, dressing, nutrition, then of course eating and all that gets affected. So I would say my top one is safety. Just be on alert. Watch your loved one that has Parkinson's. Um, Watch your, if it's a son or daughter, watch the parents. Is the mother taking care of the father with Parkinson's? Is the father taking care of the mother? Is
In a
that
spouse in a
supporting?
spouse situation you're talking about.
Exactly, the
Yeah.
spouse situation, because the spouse can also get harmed by taking care of the person with the disease, and they both need to be watched. So every scenario is different, but safety and nutrition, of course, and personal hygiene are the top three.
Right.
That once those are affected, or you have, they're so showing signs that they need help with that, either being in a bigger facility or at home, then that would be the time.
A good time to start thinking about it. And isolation is just such a huge thing, especially during COVID. I think that we found that people are just so lonely, and even families not visiting as much. And so getting into a community
Oh, yes.
actually can be, during this time, even a good time to think about it, because you have that
Oh,
built-in
absolutely.
consistent staff doing hydration with you and just bringing enjoyment to your life and helping you weather this storm that's going on in the world.
Absolutely.
So yeah, isolation, so big. What would you say to the person that has Parkinson's themselves and they're watching this video? What would you say to them about making a move to a place like this? I mean, your family lives in this home with the residents. Is that right? Or did you guys move down the street and you live close by? Do you still live?
We don't currently.
Okay.
We did
You
move out
live
of the
close by.
home, but we lived in the home for many years, for about 19 years. Yeah, we just moved out, and right in the same part lot, so it's not too far.
Oh, you're still in the same lot with your family. So you're still kind of on the same
We're
property.
in the home quite, yeah. I'm in the
I
home.
got that. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So what I would say to someone with Parkinson's, I would say that taking care of your care needs is very important, and I understand the common concerns about wanting to move to a smaller facility. Again, if you one of the biggest things is socialization, because you might not think there might be enough, and because of our setup, there's actually quite a bit of activities of residents being
Yeah.
around. You're able to stay here all the way through, even to hospice care, so you don't have to make another move. The staff is consistent. The home is customized. It's a homey environment, and I would just say that it's definitely worth trying.